For the last month, I have been testing out the top of the line Ultra-Telephoto lenses for Sony full frame cameras. And I've had so much fun shooting wildlife with these lenses because the images out of each one of them has been incredible. A couple of weeks ago, Panasonic reached out and they said, hey, we've got a new Ultra-Telephoto lens. Do you want to test out our new 100 to 500 f5 to f7.1? This is for the Panasonic Lumix full frame system. And I said, heck yeah, let's do it. Now, the first thing I noticed when I opened the box was just how small this box and lens was in comparison to what I've been using. This is kind of funny. This is Sony's 600mm f4 box. You can see significant difference. Once I opened the small box, I realized just how small and compact this lens is, especially for a 500mm lens. It doesn't feel quite as premium as the other much more expensive lenses that I've recently been testing. However, for the price of around $2,100, this lens feels fine. But when it comes to the actual convenience of packing and carrying and using this lens, there is no comparison. All of the other lenses that I've recently been testing are gigantic. None of them fit in any of my camera bags. This one easily fits, and it's so much easier to carry around. It's pretty much about the size of a 70 to 200 2.8 lens. Now, the feature that I was most excited to test out, and I immediately saw it the second I put this up to my eye, was the optical stabilization performance of this lens. All of my Panasonic cameras and all of my Panasonic lenses have absolutely demolished the competition when it comes to stabilization, and this lens is no different. The second you put this up to your eye, even at 500mm, it is so incredibly steady. Here you can see me hand holding each one of these lenses with optical stabilization on, and you can see just how incredible the stabilization is on this lens. It is clearly the best. Now, when it comes to autofocus, I had very low expectations because I shoot Sony. Sony has unbelievable autofocus. I've been shooting animals for the last few weeks now with animal eye detect autofocus on, and I am just pointing my camera in the general direction of random animals, and it instantly recognizes eyeballs, and it's just locking on to all of them instantaneously on my Sony gear. And I thought, there's no way it's going to work as well on the Panasonic system, and I am thrilled to say that it did. Although I found that this camera cannot reliably track random objects, it tracks people's eyes and it tracks animals' eyes incredibly well, which is so strange. I know sometimes when I've shot birds with my Sony gear and the bird is in a tree and there's a bunch of leaves in the foreground and maybe the majority of the bird is hidden behind leaves and just their head is poking out, the camera can struggle to recognize that head as an entire bird and find the eye there. It seemed like in some cases the Panasonic system was doing even better than my Sony camera, recognizing just portions of animals that were hidden behind trees or leaves. Again, I was just very impressed by how well the autofocus system did with this camera and the lens paired together. Now, one major issue I had with Sony's 600mm f4, which is a $14,000 lens, and Sigma's 300 to 600 f4, which is a $7,000 lens, is that they had very poor minimum focusing distance. You had to be very far away from your subject, like 15 feet to focus on your subject. Right here, you can see just how much closer this lens can get, and if you're shooting small subjects like small birds or insects, this is going to be a huge deal. So this lens was blowing me away, but I was definitely expecting some optical performance issues when I really started to zoom in here. I was expecting pretty significant vignetting, soft edges, you know, the stuff that you get with more affordable lenses. I am once again very shocked by the performance of this lens. Here you can see a shot of a wall at 100mm, and I am jumping between f5 and 7.1. Very, very slight vignetting at f5, but that is way better than I was expecting. Let's zoom in here to 400%. Very sharp in the center like we would expect, but I was expecting very soft edges. But if you look at the edges here, they look really, really good. I can't believe how good they look. Let's check it out at 500mm, and wide open is 7.1, and this is f10. There is no difference. I am jumping between these two f-stops right now. You probably can't even tell. They look identical. No vignetting at all. Let's zoom in. 400% here, looks great in the center. And if I slide over to the edges, a little bit softer here, but still very impressive. I have just been using the absolute top of the line, most expensive lenses Sony makes, and this little guy is holding its own here. I am very impressed. Now, when it comes to shallow depth of field and the bokeh, the actual look of those blurry elements of the shot, this lens looks fantastic. You wouldn't think that you could get shallow depth of field with an f5 to 7.1 lens, but when it's an ultra-telephoto lens like this, especially if you can get close to the subject and you're shooting small subjects like birds, you can get beautiful shallow depth of field. And I feel like the bokeh on this lens looks fantastic as well. So in conclusion, can I recommend this lens? Absolutely. I am blown away by this lens. I can't say it's cheap at $2,100, but for what it is, I think that's an incredibly fair price. And for 500 millimeters of reach, this lens is incredibly compact, especially compared to what I have been using over the last month. Image quality and autofocus on this lens and this camera system was way better than I ever expected it to be. And when it comes to optical stabilization, something that is incredibly important for ultra-telephoto lenses, it's the best I've ever used before. If you shoot Panasonic and you're looking for a somewhat compact ultra-telephoto zoom lens, do not hesitate. This lens is awesome.